Let me show you what's actually happening. Every single time. I'm Henry Fox, and on this channel, we don't follow the noise, we decode it. Trump, China, 18 of the most powerful men on planet Earth, on one plane. Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Jensen Huang of Nvidia, Larry Fink of BlackRock, 18 CEOs, one destination, one secret agenda. Now the media told you this was about tariffs. They told you this was about trade. They told you, relax, it's just business. But Henry Fox doesn't do relaxed. Because when 18 of the world's most powerful billionaires get on a plane together, that is not just business, that is a signal. And today, we are going to decode exactly what that signal means. But first, to understand what happened in China in 2025, we have to travel back, all the way to 1985, to a hotel in New York City, to a meeting that changed the entire world, and almost nobody to 1985, the Plaza Hotel, New York City. America has a serious problem. The US dollar is too strong, so strong that American manufacturers, the people making things, building things, cannot compete with the rest of the world. Nobody is buying American goods, everything is too expensive. So President Reagan does something extraordinary. He calls a secret meeting, not on television, not in public. A secret meeting at the Plaza Hotel in New York City. And who does he invite? France, Japan, West Germany, United Kingdom. And the deal they cooked up in that room was illegal by every free market rule they had been preaching to the world. The deal was simple. Manipulate the currency market. Weaken the US dollar against the Japanese yen. The yen literally doubled in value. Overnight, Japanese exports became expensive. American goods became cheap. American manufacturers could compete again. Sounds like a win. Right? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Here is what they did not tell Japan. Japan thought they were getting a great deal. Japanese companies could invest inside the United States. Sounds amazing, right? But that currency revaluation, that destroyed Japan's economy from the inside. Japan tried to save itself, flooding its own economy with cheap money. You know what that caused? A massive economic bubble. And when that bubble burst, Japan's economy froze. They call it Japan's lost decade. Some economists call it the lost 30 years. One deal, one secret meeting, one country's entire economy wiped out. Now why am I telling you this? Because this is exactly the trap China is trying to avoid right now. Before we go any further, if this is already blowing your mind, do me a favor right now, hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed yet, press that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a decode. This information is not being shared on mainstream media. Your subscription is how we keep reaching people. Now, let's go deeper. October 2025. China comes to America with a proposal, a Plaza Accord, version 2. But China is smart. China studied what happened to Japan. China watched Japan get destroyed by allowing their currency to be revalued against the US dollar. So China said, we are not making that same mistake. China does not want a revaluation of the dollar against the RMB. Their currency. China wants a revaluation of the dollar against gold. You hear what I just said? Not against currency, against gold. Because whoever controls gold controls everything. And here is the part that should wake you up. Right now, as we speak, gold is quietly leaving the United States and moving to China. And if you know your history, you know exactly what that means. When the British Empire fell, Where did the gold go? It left London. It went to New York City. And America, holding half the world's gold after World War II, is exactly what made the US dollar the world's currency. So if gold is now moving from America to China, what does that tell you about who is winning this game right now? I'll let you think about that. Now let's connect something that nobody in mainstream media is putting together. Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, and why China needs it. Look at this map. Beijing wants to build a high-speed rail network from Beijing across Central Asia, all the way into Europe. This is China's land road, their way to trade with Europe without using the ocean, without needing America's permission. But there is one pivot point, one hub that controls the entire route: Tehran, Iran, without Iran. Beijing cannot reach Europe through land. The entire network collapses. So now ask yourself, why is China supporting Iran in the ongoing conflict? Is it because they are friends? Is it because they share the same values? No. It is geography. It is trade routes. It is survival. And here is the twist. China and Russia are allegedly using Iran to keep the Strait of Hormuz under pressure. Why? Because if the Strait of Hormuz is threatened, oil flow is disrupted, and America's financial markets get exposed through their broken supply chain. In other words, Iran is the pressure button. China is holding against America's throat at the negotiating table. And Trump walked right into that room with 18 CEOs to negotiate. Now, to really understand Trump's visit, we have to talk about Nixon, because this has happened before. Almost exactly. Nixon goes to China. Everyone said it was to defeat the Soviet Union. Historians wrote books about it, built entire theories around it. But Henry Fox says, that's not the real story. The real story starts in 1971, 1 year before the visit. Nixon removed the US dollar from the gold standard. Translation? The dollar was now worth nothing. You could no longer exchange your dollar for gold. It was just paper. So Nixon had a problem. How do you create demand for paper money that is backed by absolutely nothing? You build a Ponzi scheme, a global one. Step 1. Create the Petrodollar. Force Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE to only sell their oil in US dollars. So now, even though the dollar isn't backed by gold, it's backed by oil. Every country that needs oil needs dollars. Step 2. Open China. Turn China into the world's manufacturing base. So China sells manufactured goods to the world in dollars. Middle East sells oil to the world in dollars. Everything traded in dollars. That is the Ponzi scheme that built the modern global economy. And that is what Nixon's China visit really created. Now, here is where it gets philosophical. And I need you to stay with me. You know Plato, ancient Greek philosopher. He describes something called the allegory of the cave. Imagine prisoners chained inside a dark cave, only able to see shadows on the wall. And they believe those shadows are reality because it's all they've ever seen. That is exactly what is happening to us right now. The tariffs, the trade war, the headlines, Trump going to China. Those are the shadows. The real game is about who controls what you think is real. So let me show you what's actually on the table. China wants access to Nvidia chips to fuel its AI, access to US markets, cheap energy from Venezuela. America wants access to China's financial sector. So BlackRock and Wall Street can walk into China and sell financial products to 1.4 billion Chinese people and use that money to pay off America's debt. And the tool they plan to use? Stablecoins, Tether, Circle, digital dollars, flowing quietly through China's financial system, so Chinese citizens unknowingly fund America's Ponzi scheme. You see it now. And then there's Taiwan. Oh, You thought we were going to skip Taiwan. China wants Taiwan. That's not a secret. But here is what is a secret. Professor Huang, one of the sharpest geopolitical minds analysing this situation, says he would not be surprised if Trump openly says, America opposes Taiwan's independence and supports the unification of Taiwan and China. Pause. Read that again. America supporting China taking Taiwan. Why would Trump do that? Simple. Because America needs China to open its financial sector, and that financial access is worth more to Wall Street than Taiwan's independence. Money always wins, always. So let me bring it all together for you. 1944. World War II ends. America holds half the world's gold. Dollar becomes world currency. 1971. Nixon removes dollar from gold standard. Dollar becomes worthless paper. 1972. Nixon visits China, creates the Petrodollar, opens China as world's factory, builds the global Ponzi scheme. 1985. Plaza Accord. Japan gets destroyed. Lost 30 years. 2025. Trump visits China with 18 of the most powerful men on earth to negotiate a brand new monetary order because the old one is cracking. And the question is not whether a new deal will be made. The question is, who gets destroyed this time? Will it be China, like Japan in 1985? Or will America finally lose its grip on the world's money? Henry Fox doesn't have all the answers today, but Henry Fox will be watching, and I'll be right here, decoding it for you, every single time. Before they tell you what to think, let me show you what's actually happening. That's what we do here. If this video opened your eyes, drop a comment below. Tell me, what part shocked you the most? Share this with somebody who still believes everything they see on the news. They need this more than you do. I'm Henry Fox, and this was Decode.